Something shocking just happened at the White House. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa came to meet Donald Trump. It was supposed to be a normal diplomatic visit, friendly handshakes, trade talks, maybe even some good press. But that's not what happened. Instead, Trump pulled out a video claiming that white farmers in South Africa are being looked like a horror story. And he played it live in front of the cameras, with the South African president sitting right next to him. No warning, no explanation. The room went silent. Reporters looked stunned. Ramaphosa looked caught off guard. This wasn't a meeting anymore. It was a public ambush carefully staged for the world to see. And what followed has left both countries on edge. President Ramaphosa had arrived in Washington with hope. He brought gifts. He brought key business leaders. He came ready to talk trade, partnerships, and a better future between South Africa and the United States. But from the start, something felt off. Trump seemed cold, direct, focused on one thing: the video. As soon as the press entered the room, Trump played it. Trump claimed they were graves of white farmers murdered in South Africa. He spoke of genocide, violence, and danger for whites. He looked straight into the cameras. But the truth, that video was not new. It came from 2020, and those crosses weren't graves. They were part of a protest. A visual statement, yes, but not what Trump was claiming. Ramaphosa sat quietly, watching, and then with measured calm, he responded. He reminded the world that South Africa is a democracy, that all lives matter. That fear should not be used as a political weapon. But the damage was already done. What should have been a moment of unity had turned into a storm of suspicion and blame. The video Trump played wasn't just a political tool, it was a message. Trump claimed it showed the killing of white farmers in South Africa, that they were being targeted because of their race. But experts were quick to respond. The video came from an old protest site in KwaZulu-Natal. Those crosses weren't graves. They were a symbolic protest by farmers. Yes, crime is real in South Africa, but the idea of a targeted genocide against whites, repeatedly debunked. No credible data supports it. Still, Trump stood by his claim. He pointed to past decisions, like granting asylum to 60 white South African families. He said he had always been concerned about their safety. And now, he was putting that concern on full display at the cost of diplomacy. President Ramaphosa tried to steer the conversation back to facts. He said South Africa was addressing crime for all communities, not just one group. But his voice was drowned by the headline that was already spreading across the world. Trump confronts Ramaphosa with murder video. While the world focused on the video, something even bigger was quietly hanging in the air: money. South Africa is deeply tied to U.S. trade. Billions flow between the two countries each year. But now, that relationship is at risk. Trump had already warned that new tariffs could hit South African exports hard. If those tariffs kick in this July, some products could face 30% extra taxes. That would crush small businesses and hurt thousands of jobs on both sides. Ramaphosa came to Washington to stop that from happening. He brought South African CEOs and investors. He wanted to show that the partnership still matters, that trade should rise above politics. But Trump wasn't interested. He didn't talk numbers. He didn't talk deals. He talked about the video. For Ramaphosa, it was a missed opportunity. Instead of negotiating a path forward, he had to defend his country's image. The real danger? If these tensions grow, the U.S. could lose one of its key allies in Africa, and South Africa might look elsewhere for trade. China, Russia, and BRICS are watching closely. This wasn't just a clash between two presidents. It was a reflection of something deeper, something global. Donald Trump has long positioned himself as a defender of white identity politics, granting asylum to white South Africans, suspending aid, And now this video. It's not random. It's part of a pattern. To his supporters, it's strength. To his critics, it's provocation. But for South Africa, the consequences are real. Trump's message echoed far-right talking points ideas that have gained traction online, but have no basis in fact. By putting them on the world stage, he gave those narratives power. And that puts pressure on leaders in South Africa, where race remains a sensitive and painful issue. At the same time, this event weakens the traditional image of American diplomacy. Instead of promoting unity and development, the U.S. appeared divided, sending mixed signals to global partners. And while Ramaphosa tried to take the high road, the damage had been done. The world saw the video. They saw the confrontation. And they saw a deeper political battle playing out not just between two countries, but between two worldviews. This wasn't just a political disagreement. It was a public clash between two leaders, two nations, and two narratives. President Ramaphosa came with hope for stronger ties. He left with his country's name in the headlines not for trade, not for progress, but for controversy. Trump once again turned a moment of diplomacy into a stage for his message. Whether it was strategy or spectacle, it worked. The world is talking not about policies, but about race, identity, and power. And now the relationship between the U.S. and South Africa stands at a fragile point. Behind the cameras, the tension is real. Trade is uncertain. Trust is shaken. And the question that lingers isn't just what happened in that room, but what comes next.